ice helps when the pain is very high and sometimes.
Exactly.
But actually, I hate when people ask me this.
But it won't actually help for the injury.
Leah, second podcast with you. I'm so happy to have you here and hope that we will continue this in the future. But please, this time, introduce yourself a second time and then the people will know you.
Okay, thank you. It's a pleasure for me, actually, Max. As we were talking about before, we always are like doing podcasts. When we are together, we are always talking and explaining stuff. So it's good for us to record this and to send it to the world. So I'm Leah Martinez. I'm a coach, also a dietitian, nutritionist that has a focus on functional medicine and biohacking. And I think today we are talking about injuries. That's, I think, your specialty.
Yes. Nevertheless, you know what the topic is, which joint in specific we will talk about. I made like a poll in my community and asked which injury or which joint is the most interesting for them.
Okay.
And I'm sure they told the joint they have problems. So if you would know or you wouldn't know, which joint you would guess it is?
I think I have two in mind. Low back, there's not a joint, but it's a complex, and shoulder pain. I think those two are like the biggest one when it comes to injury.
The truth is that I didn't give the option of low back. So I think low back would won, but I just didn't give it because I don't like so much treating people with low back pain because there's a lot of stuff involved and it's the first which will get chronic. And it's so difficult to treat someone with chronic pain more when you're going online. And that's my case. So yes, it's shoulder. I was expecting, to be honest, more knee problems. But then I guessed that maybe in my community are more people training. And I think in trained athletes or general population training, shoulder is more common. The thing why I thought it's knee or hip is because there's so much artificial joint replacements in Germany daily. I looked it up. It was around 500 to 1,000 a day.
A day?
A day, yes.
Wow. To knee replacement?
I think that it was hip, actually.
Wow, that's a lot. Well, I don't know the numbers here in Dominican Republic, but I do know that people are like chronically and every day they're in pain. Not necessary to injure itself, but they have a lot of pain. So what do you think joint is the most popular or more complex, talking about injuries?
I think it's actually the shoulder due to the fact that it's a ball and socket joint.
Yeah.
That means that it's super mobile, and with mobility, there's less stability.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, how I think about joints, it always starts with a lack of stability. Even though in the end, the joint is stiff, in the beginning of the problem, there was the missing of stability. This is how I think about joint problems.
Yeah.
So, to explain it a little bit further, so when you put like gravity to the body, then, for example, when I hold something here, then this gravity is pushing the hand down. And so I have to stabilize the parts of the chain which are obviously under pressure. But due to the leverage, the biggest pressure here will be on the shoulder, or even more actually on the scapula, but
I think it's like the farther you get, the more leverage the more pressure you're gonna get.
Exactly. So the question is, do I have the capacity to stabilize that position?
Gotcha.
So when I do this, there will be the point where I start feeling my muscles here, the tension, right?
Yeah.
So right now it's just my arm. When I apply pressure, like for example, I put a weight in my hand, then the weight will increase the tension. When I do it a little bit like deeper down, the muscles will be more stretched and there will be more tension. So it depends on, what I found out is that it depends on three very important factors, which are range of motion for the stabilizers. So when the muscle is more stretched, we have more range of motion.
Yeah.
So it's more tension. Then the next is weight and speed. Like, for example, here I have no speed, obviously.
Yeah.
So the tension here in an isometric is not that high. When I would do this, the tension would be higher. So yes, coming back to the shoulder, the problem is with the high mobility comes a high necessity of stability, which most of the people don't train in specific.
Yeah. I think that it's also, well, that's what I see in my practice. That is more like not coaches, not athletes as you. It's more like regular people. Or day-to-day life made us be in a position that is not appropriate for shoulder stability. Neither low back, neither knee. It's not human design. But at the end, people are more rounded. People are more... So people get to the gym and spend 1 hour doing exercise or training the muscle, looking for most of them looking for weight, looking for reps to make. But we spend like the rest of the 23 hours without using those muscles, specifically the muscles that get us stable when we are standing up, when we are reaching, when we are like the chest proud all the day. So as we are encounter more in this position all the time, I think that we are also lacking that regular activation that we could have in the day-to-day if we have like a proper.
But now you're talking about the trunk, which is not...
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about everything like in general, like what can be also the possibilities or something that adds up to the issue that the old people are encountering with injuries in general.
Have you said the old people or all people?
All people.
All people. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, when you think about the trunk, then you have for sure the scapula on the thorax.
Yeah.
Is it thorax?
Yeah.
Okay. So, which is also a joint, or I think about it like a joint. And you know that you cannot talk about the shoulder without the scapula and the thorax. There's actually more joints in correlation to the shoulder, the joint between acromion and clavicular, and the clavicular attached to the sternum. But yes, that will make the discussion more complicated. The easiest way is to think about the scapula on the thorax, which makes protection, retraction, elevation, and depression. And I think the shoulder is actually pretty unimportant when it comes to shoulder pain. The more important is the scapula on the thorax. But when you have shoulder pain, it will not help to start with the T-spine and the scapula. You need to solve the inflammation in the shoulder, which is very specific.
Claro.
You got me?
Yeah. I speak Spanish now. So I have a question for you. When someone comes in and tell you about they have shoulder pain all time, like every day, or maybe let's do this case that is more common. They don't have shoulder pain, but when they do certain movements behind the head, or when they try to catch something behind the start and they feel the pain. What you do or what you think is like the way to start with those type of people?
Yeah, so when they got pain in specific positions, I think the most people will think it's an impingement of a specific structure. For example, the tendon of the long tendon of the bicep, or something else, doesn't matter in the end. Could be the joint capsule, but who cares? So this is actually pretty interesting that a joint which is super mobile has a problem with mobility. So this brings me back to my entry thesis. What I would do in this case is to start to activate the muscles who are actually controlling the movement which is not working. Like, for example, when you say like external rotation and flexion is not working, I think about it like which muscle actually controls this movement. So I'm not talking about which muscle elevates my arm.
Mm-hmm.
This is obviously the deltoideus and maybe the traps and, you know.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think I need to train them, but they are not controlling it. They're just giving the movement.
Yeah.
So the
Correct.
controlling muscles are the muscles in front, like pectoralis major, in the same chain pectoralis minor. And when you go more when you go more up and more back, then it's starting to get controlled by the latissimus as well.
I'm with you. I just want to like understand more and maybe get the people to understand more how you do it. Most of the people, most of the trainer can think about if someone has shoulder pain, the first thing that they try to avoid is to do presses. So how do you get them to activate the muscles that are in front and the one that stabilize the movement, as you're saying, without getting them to pain?
Yeah, that's true. Actually, nearly everybody, when I talk to them in my entry chat or discussion, when I say your chest, your pecs are specifically too weak, they like, no, I'm chest dominant.
Exactly.
I'm strong in my chest.
Yeah.
I need to avoid chest training. I did a lot of chest training. Yeah, and this actually I learned here in Dominican Republic from you and from Juan Carlos. The differentiation of specific and systemic.
Yeah.
So when I talk about specific the pectoralis, then I only want specific the pectoralis. So when I do a movement which the people think is a chest movement, like the dumbbell press,
Yeah.
only doing the dumbbell press with the perfect execution tells me nothing about if it's really the chest which is working. For sure, there's no other tissue which can adduct my humerus. It will not be done by the bicep. But this is systemic. This is the whole chain.
Exactly.
So when I do it systemic, then the tension always will be in the middle of the chain, which in this case is the joint.
The shoulder. Yeah, and that's why they get the pain when they do chest exercises.
Exactly. So what we need to do then is to inhibit or to decrease the range of motion to the short range, which is always muscular. The short range cannot be systemic. Okay. I mean, it depends on the movement. You can argue that the short range in the squat is
yeah, but that's a complex movement.
Exactly.
I mean, it's when you get complex movement, you get a lot of stuff involved in the middle. But I got you. So you're talking about getting a specific in the contraction, because in the contraction you're only getting the muscle.
Exactly. So let's take an.
So maybe like barbell press is not necessarily the best. Because you have more tension, like getting in the stretch positions and in the contraction. So what would you use?
I mean, this is actually what you need to learn to do the compound movements more specific.
Yeah.
This, I think, is what differentiates Arnold Schwarzenegger and Tom Platz and all the big guys.
Yeah.
When they do like high weight compound movements super fast, it looks like for the biomechanist, it looks awful. But they're actually contracting specific the muscles they need to contract. And then we have high weights, high speed, and a lot of leverage.
Yeah.
And they control it, so they get a lot of hypertrophy in the end. We don't want hypertrophy, we want to rehabilitate the shoulder.
Yeah.
So what we do now is not do the compound and try to make it with a lot of weight. We pick the isolation, like for example, the Polican fly or fly. And if we can, we do it with a cable, because the cable allows us to more easily contract or to have like tension in the short range. You can have tension in the short range when you're doing it with dumbbells. It's the same with the dumbbell press. You can peak your chest here. When you're even better when you hold a little bit of elbow flexion.
Yeah, like a cyclic elbow flexion.
It's more difficult and more advanced. So what the people will say is, I don't feel it. It's too easy. I don't feel it. Yeah, because you cannot contract.
You cannot target. Yeah, I always say like If you really have control and the ability to contract your muscle, you can feel it with no weights. I mean, like, for example, I have a really good connection with my posterior chain, and I can put my hamstring, for example, trembling without any weights. It's just because of my muscle connection that I have over there. But that doesn't happen with other muscles that I have around injuries that I had before. So it makes a lot of sense. So, okay, so you got the contraction part of the muscle that actually stabilize the joint that you're targeting. In this case, for the shoulder pain or for the shoulder injury, you target the pectoralis. What else do you see?
Let me finish this.
Yeah.
So we do the polykin fly, and the most important part here, it's a loaded stretch. So the people think they need to stretch, they need to go into the stretched position. What I do is to decrease the range of motion so dramatically that it can be, in the end, it could be a movement like this. But it doesn't matter, because when you get more muscle contractions, the muscle will get more tension, then the fascia, which is part of the systemic strength, it will directly increase the amount of echoplasts, which will then decrease the collagen, so the more stable part of the fascia, which is not necessary anymore. So you can, when you do more muscular training, decrease the amount of fascia stiffness in your system, which is not needed. I don't tell you don't need fascia. For athletics and even strength performance, you need the fascia.
Yeah, you need a lot of it.
And you need the nervous system.
Yeah.
And you need everything. But most of the time, the muscle is lacking. So you need to get it back. And then you can integrate the three parts into functional movements, like whatever, like what is necessary for your sport.
Yeah,
could be everything.
Yeah, it's like if you increase the capacity for your contraction of the muscle, you are like right away increasing the ability to contract and to make force, to make velocity and everything else. So it's like you're not losing, actually. You will be gaining more.
Absolutely. Can you repeat the following question?
Yeah, so after you look for the contraction of the muscle that stabilizes the joint that has pain, in this case you say the pectoralis, what else do you look for?
I mean, the shoulder has stabilizing muscles, which are called the rotator cuff. That's the subscapularis, the supraspinatus, the infraspinatus, and the teres minor. And what is also functionally spoken, a part of it is the long tendon of the bicep.
Yeah.
So it's not in the anatomy book, but it's a part of it.
It's part of it.
And these muscles, what the people think is that these muscles will stabilize the joint. But actually, what they do is to make the joint integrity better. So the joint integrity is how good the ball fits into the socket.
Gotcha.
So that brings me to a very important rule, which I cannot say in English. I will say it in German. Maybe it's the same in English. It's the convex-concave rule.
So it's like the convexus and the concave.
Exactly. So the socket, the scapula is the concave, and the ball, the humerus, is the convex. So when I, for example, move my arm to the front, then the ball will move to the back. It's the convex part always slides in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
While the concave part always slides in the same direction as it moves.
Gotcha.
Like, for example, the tibia is concave. So when I extend my knee, the tibia will also move to the same direction. So when I look on the shoulder, when I go up and back and externally rotate it, my humerus, my ball, the ball of the bone, will move to the front. This makes this position so dangerous because we have the stabilizing muscles, the pectoralis, on long range, so it's weak, and we have a high leverage. And we have the rule which says that the bone will move to the front and can then luxate out of the joint, and that happens a lot.
Yeah.
So this is the case while the body, the genius, how do you say that? Like the evolution gives us more muscles to stabilize this position. But the other part is to improve the joint integrity, because when the ball of the bone is already in the front, then it's more likely that it will move further to the front when we do this movement. So this is why we need to actually also activate the rotator cuff, not to make it super stable, but to increase the joint integrity. And with the joint integrity comes actually also the strength of the muscles, because they can actually only work when the joint integrity is very high.
And how can you, I mean, what exercise do you actually pick that are the ones that the people with pain can do without doing it grown? Like that has the less capacity to do it grown, and it has the greater results when it comes about getting the integrity back.
Before I came here the first time, I was doing the external rotation, elbow on knee, as the first movement, and then I did the powell raise and the trap 3 raise, which are isolation movements for the rhomboids and the descending trapezius. But then when I came here, I started training with you, and I changed it, because you cannot use your external rotators when your scapula is in a bad position. So now I try to find the scapular muscles first. And sometimes, for example, the Y raise from the YTW raise, when the mobility of the T-spine is so bad and the people cannot do it, then I will not do this movement. Then I'm going more for scapular cars, like for very controlled, slow movements of the scapula. Action, I could actually do it here. So I move my arms to the front, and with the arms comes the scapula.
Yeah.
Then I move it up, and I go back. Here's the microphone. I will do it here. And then, but I go down and I go front again. The most important part here is to go very hard to the end, because it's short range.
Yeah.
You need when you do it like this, you don't get nothing out of it, because you need to short range to fire, and also you need to do it slow to get the most out of it. So this improves actually the shoulder health a lot, because when I sit like this, I cannot go further. Exactly. But when I sit upright, I can.
You can back it up. So you look for pec, very short contraction, short range contraction to activate. Then you look for scapula, so to target actually the integrity of the joints, of the stabilizers.
Yeah, it depends. When the people, the client has shoulder pain, I will train the shoulder first. I need to get the pain away.
Yeah.
And when the people don't have shoulder pain, I start with the scapula directly.
Always
go directly for upper back and chest.
What do you think about icing and let's start with icing. What do you think about icing and stuff when you get pain?
Let me give the question back to you, but first tell me what you are doing with your clients, which exercises you do for structural balance.
Well, I have more clients with low back pain. I actually love to train clients with low back pain. When it comes to the shoulder, I always go to the scapula first, because I have seen in practice that 95% of people who has shoulder pain has great mobility in the shoulder, but has no mobility in the scapula. So that's the main reason, and all of them are rounded and short here, so they're actually weak in the pec. But I never think about the pec before as a stabilizer and activator muscle. Now that you told me that, I understand it completely, and I'm seeing differently. But I always start with the scapula, and when I get the scapula moving better. And when I get the stabilizers of the shoulder, training the scapula, I get them better, the shoulder pain disappears completely. And then I start to retrain the person to do the movements that they need for their specific goal without pain, because that's another part, huge part. So yeah, that's all. I mean, I think that shoulder pain, you can get it out easily and faster. I never had clients who has a traumatizing or had something like surgery, like major issues, you know? I'm thinking about shoulder pain, maybe frozen shoulder. That's a little bit more complex, but nothing more than that.
You know which rotation is more correlated with upper back stability, internal or external rotation?
Before I thought external, but I think internal is more correlated.
I mean, they're both.
Exactly. I mean, there's a movement that you had in both ways, but.
So even though you say external, I wouldn't say that's wrong, but I think also it's internal, because the movement, when my internal rotation gets no further, I need to go to the front with my scapula. Yep. And then I get a problem, because when my scapula goes to the front, I lose my extension pattern in the spine. So when I have this problem, which is super often, the people think their external rotation is bad, but then I test it and it's super, and they test the internal rotation and it's horrible.
It's horrible, yeah.
Yeah, then you get the problem that you will get when you train your back. You can train your lats for shoulder extension, sure, but it also has an impact on spine flexion or extension. So when you train your lats more with a shoulder blade front position, then you will train the lats more like a flexor on the spine.
Gotcha.
And when you can do it here, then you train it more like an extensor.
Yeah.
Both is working, but I think we don't want to lose the extension of our spine.
Yeah, I think most of the people know how to activate the lats in the flexion position, but like most of the people doesn't know how to activate the back muscle in the stand-up position. So it's like, you know that I have a mentor who's called Andre Benoit, that we're going to have some camp with him. Andre Benoit was side to side with Charles Poliquin. He told me that when they were coaching athletes, high-level athletes, Olympic athletes, they always see recurrency in the shoulder pain, even though they're doing sternal rotations, even though they were doing stabilizing and everything. And when they start implementing training the internal rotations in different angles also, and different positions, they start seeing that the shoulder didn't come back at all, like the shoulder pain didn't come back. And he told me, it's funny because you don't see that in any books. You don't see that, like no one's talking about it, but they did it because it wasn't working. And when they apply it, when they apply a ratio like similar to external rotation to internal rotation, they start fixing the shoulder pain like quicker, faster.
Do you know which exercises they did for the internal rotation?
No, I don't recall like exactly the ones that they used at that time, but he only told me like internal rotation in different angles.
Okay, because it's very funny or interesting to think about which movement trains the stabilizers of the internal rotation, and
gotcha.
This is this movement. So the external rotation, with the elbow and knee, actually trains the controlling part or the control in the internal rotation. And the Poliquin fly, on the other hand, trains the muscles who are stabilizing the external rotation.
Yes.
So, you use ice?
No, no at all. No at all. I mean, I think that's a little bit of medical stuff. I mean, I always say to the people, when you see that some structure in the body is white, it's because they don't have blood flow. So when a structure doesn't have blood flow, when a structure is white, it's not red, then you need pressure to make the stuff get in the space.
What is white? Are you talking about the arteries?
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the articulation, for example, the tendons.
Ah, okay.
They're white. They're not
white,
red.
the
white.
color.
Yeah, the color.
Ah, okay. Okay.
They're white. So I told the people, if you see a part of the body that is white inside, obviously, you don't have blood flow over there. So the way that the blood and the like immune system and the cells and the minerals and the vitamins that you need to heal get to that position, you need pressure, because the pressure can get the fluids inside. It has a complex name in the medical stuff, but movements from day one around, from the second one that you injured yourself, is the way for you to take out the inflammation and to actually heal the part. I think that's why, like, I think it's like from 3 years to now, at least in Dominican Republic, when people get some type of surgery to any joint, they start moving it right away. Before, they stabilize it and they put something rigid so you don't move it. But 3 years from now, like, for example, you operate your knee, you're walking right away after you wake up.
Got it.
Do you use ice?
No, I hate it.
Okay,
I hate ice bath. But
yeah, that's another stuff.
Is it? Let me explain.
Yeah.
So when you say something is white because there's no blood,
Yeah.
actually, when we are hurt, then we need the blood for the healing process.
Yeah.
So the ice, I think, will be doing the opposite. It will decrease the blood flow. Maybe there are some crazy people which will they will get more blood with ice, but actually it's less blood.
Yeah.
So then, sure, it helps, because with less blood, the inflammation process is like smaller, so the pain is smaller. It's the same when you have, like, you're getting cortisone to the joint. It actually decreases the inflammation, so the healing process is inhibited.
Exactly.
So this I don't want, but sure, ice helps when the pain is very high and sometimes.
Exactly.
But actually, I hate when people ask me this. Hey, should I cool it? Do it.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
it
It's
helps.
like it can manage the pain, but it won't actually help for the injury. So that can be the take.
And you know that, like, the constriction of the arteries is, like, every constriction is correlated with more sympathetic tone. So actually, to heal, we want more parasympathetic activation. So the opposite, like, I would go for warm, I would go for massage. And
Gotcha. Everything that opens up and move the fluids.
Exactly.
I think that's why, I mean, we're not talking about it like right now, but that's why I'm very up for red light therapy, because you get a lot of vasodilatation, and also you get like the function, and you get the message to the soul and to the articulation to start the healing process more quickly. And it's heat at the end.
Yeah, most parts of the body want more the heat. For example, the liver loves heat, and it's most of the liver problems will not be better without warming it.
That's crazy. That's why people need to live in the island.
You talking about Hispaniola?
Talking about Dominican, like
Right.
anyone, but yeah.
But isn't the name of this island Hispaniola?
La Española.
See,
It was, yeah.
It's
It was.
It's forbidden to say that?
No, it's not forbidden. It's part of the history, but yeah, it was.
No. Now it's Haiti and Dominican Republic.
Exactly. They're two different stuff. So back to the shoulder. Besides training and the construction of the chest and the stabilization of the shoulder joint and the ability to use the scapula, that's the three stuff that we talk about the shoulder. What else do you do to take out the pain and the injury?
So that brings me actually to one question. What happens, or what is the biggest difference between you and me with 30 years and someone with 70 years when we're talking about the biomechanics in the body? It's actually 3 things, for sure. It's actually 100 things,
Yeah.
but okay, they're important for us. The body will build up more collagen because we need more stability when we lose muscles, and this is what happens due 2,000 facts. So we will get more collagen, which will make us more stiff. So this is problem number one. Old people are more stiff and they have less actually muscle stabilization. The second part is that when we look from the side, then we see the body not like a straight line. We will see that specific joints will get more to the front, more to the back. And with this, with this will come more leverage, because when the head, for example, is more in the front, there will be more leverage on the cervical spine, which also then decreases blood flow to the brain, because we need an upright cervical spine to get the perfect blood flow to the head. So this is point number 2. And point number 3 are actually the hormones. Like we get less hormones. This is actually another part. Maybe at the end of this episode, we will talk about peptides. But when you look at the first 2 parts, train as much muscle as possible in the muscular range of motion. And I'm not only talking about the shoulder and the scapula. We have myofascial trains, which are described by Tom Myers, one of the best anatomy guys on the planet. And it can be that you train the short range of your quads and get better in it, or the short range on your calves or on your tibialis, and you lose your pain in your neck or in your shoulder. I don't say, okay, everybody with shoulder pain now needs to train their calves. No. This is not what I tell. I just say focus on muscular range of motion in every muscle, and it can be that everything will get better by it, because we are actually in a tensegrity system. So every muscle in our body is linked to another muscle. Yeah. In the chains or on the trains, like for example the front superficial front line, the tibialis anterior is linked to the chest. But then we have connections to of the front to the back, and we have lines who are going like
transversal lines.
Yes. So you never know. Don't study it. Study this. It's too difficult. I mean, you can study it, but when you're a client.
No, but when you know that I think about also, I don't know about the cross sections lines, as you're telling me. I truly believe that they are. But actually, that's the hormonal part and the circulation part that you were talking about. When, for example, if I have shoulder pain, but I can train legs to make it like very general, if I train legs, I will improve my hormonal panel and regulations, and I will improve blood flow to all the places of the body. And also that can make a cascade that at the end helps me to regulate my injury in the shoulder. Yes. So I think like movements at the end always gonna accelerate the healing in any place.
But this is in addition. This is not what...
Exactly.
Okay. Let me finish the connection of front and back. So what we found, or the science of strength and conditioning in the USA found, for example, Bill Parisi, he found that when you got college players, then the best players in terms of athletics are actually kids from the farm, because they need to work on the farm helping their parents, and then because of the 3-dimensional movements, like whatever, they
picking stuff, rotating,
Exactly. They build the connections between front and back and spiral, so that when they contract their quads, they're also contracting the hamstrings.
Gotcha.
So they always have this co-contraction, which goes up, down, spiral, I told you. So their systemic strength in a good way is very high. Here we are not talking only about for example, like a sagittal plane, and not only this, we're talking about they contract here in a split squat, and they contract from here to there, everything. So they are super strong and stable. This is what I actually meant when I said train everything. And the other thing is this looking from the side, getting the joints in a line. For example, you see that the knee is always pretty bent in someone, then you may be working on the long range on the hamstrings and on the calves, and work on the short range on the quads, so they can extend their knees better. Then when you see the hip is back, train the glutes. You see that there's a high lordosis, so the pelvis is tilted to the front. And you can train it standing. You can say, like, for example, take this cable from the cable tower, hold it here, and while doing this, put your pelvis to the back and hold it for 20 seconds. That's a set. And then you do 4 sets of that, and you're good. And you will see that the people will get more control, more proximal control of their trunk. And the line looking from the side, the people will stay more upright. And problems, doesn't matter what, elbow, shoulder, knee, will get better. I implement this more in dailies at home, not in the gym. We don't want to stand upright and tilt our pelvis back in the gym and say that's our training. That's our training.
Gotcha.
What do you think about that?
I love it because I mean, as we talked about before, we get 1 hour in the gym, but then we have 23 hours that we are doing stuff that also correlates to how our body behaves. And it's not the way that we are carrying. I mean, we're not doing shoulder press in the day-to-day, but as you are picking stuff up, as you're rotating, you're grinding, you're using the computer, you're actually using the muscles that you have maybe injured. So that can also add up to the pain or add up to the healing process.
Yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and this is actually what I tell the specific part of maximum strength. So when you have a client and you put him in a time frame and say he starts here and he needs to get here, it starts with maximum strength and it ends with maximum strength. But it starts with specific muscular strength. And it again gets to specific sport or systemic strength. Depends on what he or she needs. But when I put my pelvis back and tuck it in and hold it there, and I cannot hold it for 10 seconds, then it's maximum strength. Most of us can do it, but now I put you in a position, like, for example, in a quadruped position on the floor or in a plank position. Everybody can plank, but can you plank when you put your pelvis in?
Yeah, that's
and
another
contract
stuff.
your lats, and then it gets like 30 to 60 seconds is amazingly hard.
Yeah.
So then, when you have the specific training of the muscles, the specific training of the fascia, which we are not covering here and today and now, and the specific training of the nervous system, you can integrate it into functional movements, and you can have a lot of athletic development in a client, but we're not talking about pain then.
Yeah, exactly. But I think, I mean, you need to cover those 3 stuff, looking for the injury and the pain relationships too. Because at the end, I mean, as you told us, when you have the shoulder pain, you are looking for actually priming the muscles that stabilize. So you need that muscle strength, specifically in the chest, as we talked about before. And then the scapula, and then the integration of the joints. So it's like, it's the same pattern if you want strength. It's the same pattern if you want athletics. It's the same pattern if you want longevity.
True.
It's just a very good way to look at it.
So what do we do in terms of supplements and supplements plus?
Love it. Supplements plus. So, well, in terms of pain, there is a compound, there is a natural compound that is 5 times more strong for managing pain. So it's a natural compound that is 5 times more strong than something that calms the pain down. It's called Harpagophytum.
Una otra vez.
Harpagophytum.
Ay, Dios mío.
It's called Harpagophytum. We can put it down for. So Harpagophytum, there are a few supplements that you can find now, and you can find it with some B vitamins, so you can get it like more activated. And that compounds, for you to like to have an imagination of what that compounds can do. If someone has a damaging part of the brain that's very painful, I mean, I think most of if you got to the scale of painful stuff, I think damaging a part of your brain is the most painful stuff that you can get.
Have you ever
No,
experienced
I haven't. No, I had never experienced that. That's medical stuff. I never experienced that, thanks to God. But that compound, Harpagophytum, maybe it's Harpagophyte in English, I don't know. But Harpagophytum gets you that pain regulated. So any pain that you have in your body, you can manage it without using steroids or using high ibuprofen or acetaminophen, etc. That's one thing. And I think that most of the people that has injured has magnesium deficiency because they're very stiff. They have electrolyte, maybe dysregularization. So I'm looking for magnesium, I'm looking for electrolytes regulation, because those stuff can help you when you move the body, when you move the articulation that is in pain. Those are the stuff that are going gets into the articulation to heal it. So I'm looking for those type of stuff: magnesium, electrolytes, Harpagophytum for the pain management. And I think like any deficiency that the body has, you need to cover it, and it will help you to heal faster. Because at the end, we heal injuries, but we heal anything, healing the cell. And the cell needs minerals, vitamins, electrolytes, movement.
Do you know that magnesium decreased the sympathetic tone and the fascia tension?
I didn't know the relationship of the fascia, but the sympathetic tone, yes. So it's a very good one.
Yeah, I think like the problem with magnesium is a lot of people know that magnesium is important, but they take very low dosages.
Exactly.
So what is the right amount?
I mean, there is a differentiation with supplements. When we are looking for a magnesium that is chelated, for example, magnesium glycinate. Most of the supplements tell you they have 2 grams of magnesium glycinate. But you need to look at how much elemental magnesium do you have inside and how much of the 2 grams are from glycinate, of glycine. So I think that for elemental magnesium, we regularly need 400 milligrams daily. But if you had pain, if you have injury, if you have diseases, if you have bad regulation of stress, you can get up to more doses. I would get up from 600, 800 milligrams of elemental magnesium. The chelated version, I mean the glycine or the thiourine or the malate that you can get 2 grams, 5 grams, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I agree. What is your opinion on collagen peptides?
I think it's a waste of money if you don't eat properly. That's.
I mean, there are parts which we have not talked about, so I'm smiling that I have completely. That's my answer. I think it's
Okay,
too too expensive for what you get.
Yeah, I think if you take a lot of amount of glycine, you will get better benefits than taking collagen.
And glycine is super cheap.
Exactly, and glycine is super cheap. And glycine is one of the stuff that made up collagen in your body. So, I mean, people need to understand that when you take a supplement, for example, when you take amino acids, the body doesn't get the leucine and put it into the muscle that you want to grow it. So when the body gets a supplement, he's gonna eat it, and he's gonna put it in a pool, and he's gonna need it as he wants it. So maybe increasing the specific amino acids that we don't have in diet, like the correct amount, is a better way to solve the issue of collagen, to solve the issue of soft tissue, than taking the complete collagen at all.
Yeah, and you can get the collagen from your diet as well?
Yeah, I mean, you can take the amino acids and the vitamins to say in what way that makes the collagen in your body. I think that the 2 components that are the most important for collagen right now is vitamin C and glycine.
Yeah, my question was more like when you do this, you could also add like, for example, eating meat on the bone, or meat on the tendon.
Yes.
I mean, this is what, for example, Dr. Catherine Shanahan, she was the medic of the LA Lakers for a couple of years.
Okay.
Right now, I'm not too sure what she's doing, but she wrote the books Deep Nutrition. I think this book a lot of people know.
Yeah.
And one of her pillars was to eat meat on the bone and not to buy the collagen in hydrolyzed version and put it in the coffee in a very small dose.
Exactly. I mean, if people like it, you can use it, but it won't get you the outcome that we want.
And you need the money for other supplements and other medications, right?
Exactly. They are more important than that.
What they need the money actually?
I think that for pain, as I told you, Harpagophytum for managing the pain, you can get it in a lot of supplements. There is a supplement that is called 3-Neurospine. I don't have any correlation with that supplement, but it's a very good one. It has Harpagophytum and it manages the pain very good. So that one, magnesium, like completely electrolytes balance, but maybe you can get just salt and lime and solve it without getting a supplement. Vitamin C for me is very important because vitamin C helps your body to make collagen and to have the immune system working properly. That's a main regulator of injuries. And I think the third thing that I will get the money for is maybe some red light therapy. And in the fourth position, I will get peptides.
So go on.
Then you want me to get there, actually.
Yeah, actually, I wanted you to get there, yeah.
Okay, so, for peptides, I will use, the best one are BPC 100.57 with TV 500. But there is a catch over there because the BPC 157 is a very good one. It helps you to heal faster. It helps your ligaments and your articulations to actually build itself again. It's very good. We made it naturally in the gut. But as you can inject it around the area that you have injured, you can heal faster. But it's not going to work if you inject it and you don't do nothing. You need to inject the stuff because that's the message of heal. That's the message of repair. But you need to have the pressure, you need to have the muscle, you need to have the nutrients so the body can repair itself. And the TB 500 is one that it's called angiogenesis. So it makes you grow blood vessels. And that's good because when you have a trauma, when you have an injury, for example, if you injured your shoulder, make sure that you also injure some blood vessels that you have around there. So it gets you to grow new ones. But the catch in here is that if you have some cancer history, if you have some tumor history, or are not very sure about if you have some tumor around there, you can make them grow too. So the TB 500 is not for everyone. Not everyone can take cyclically because it can get side effects from cancer.
And the BPC neither?
No, the BPC you can take it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the BPC doesn't have the angiogenesis part, doesn't grow the blood vessels necessarily.
Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just the TB 500. So those two are very good ones, but stuff like MOTSI, stuff like NAT.
Wait a second.
Yes.
Have you tried BPC 157 orally or only injection?
For pain in articulations, injected, because orally is very good. But when you have orally stuff, you can get less than 50% of viability. And you have to pass everything like the gut barrier. And your body can use it for your gut. It won't get to your knee, for example. It won't get to your shoulder. But when you inject something, you have more than 70% of viability. So you can get it more locally.
And the BPC you inject directly to the injured
to the area, yeah.
But you could also inject it in the belly.
Exactly.
And hope that it
travels
there.
Yeah, exactly. At the end, everything that you put in your body, the body's gonna decide where to use it. So maybe you have a knee injury and you put the BPC over there, but the body has something to heal in your liver. He's gonna use it for the liver first. So we are not pretty sure that we can inject it in a place and it's going to stay in that place.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad either. So, but as we take it orally, we have less viability. So, for example, you inject yourself 500 milligrams, but finish absorbing 250. So,
but BPC would not be a peptide you would use casually in a normal stack in a non-injured person.
if the people has gut issues, I will use it. If not, I won't use it.
Okay.
It's not because it can get you problems. It's because I prefer to use my money and my time in another stuff. For example, the NAT or the MOD-C, that those are compounds that are gonna make your cell train better, make your cell work better completely. So if the cell work better, everything is gonna be better in the body. So I prefer to use those compounds that are gonna get me like systemic effect of well-being instead of using the BPC that my stomach can make it to.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you named it by the name of systemically healing. And I am also a big fan of that, because everything which gets your overall health better will also help to decrease sympathetic activation and increases parasympathetic activity.
Yeah.
So what I want to add to this, when we're talking about pain, that pain actually is increased and decreased by the parasympathetic tone, or by the vagal nerve. So the people think that pain is actually the signal that transmits the reality to their brain, but that's not true, because you can cut the receptors and you don't get nothing. You can cut your knee off and feel nothing. And it works in the other direction when you have phantom pain, right? Like you have no limb, but you have the craziest amount of pain. So that's the same with the picture we got. So we both sit here and think we see the same, but actually our brain makes completely different pictures. Sure, I think it's close to the other, and we are both human, but I mean, you're Dominican, so maybe you see it.
I see stuff different. But yeah, it's reality. So you're talking about like injury management and pain management needs to be something like integral.
Yeah, I think you get a lot out of systemic work.
Yes.
And that's what I understood when you said you use MOD-C, which is not super specific to the injury, but very specific to the well-being of the cells and the body overall.
What do you think, or what you use for supplements and dieting when you get someone with pain?
I took a metaphor, which is like when you build a house. You get, for example, very nice. What do we take? A very nice table.
Yeah,
it's a super nice table from Casa Cresta. But you don't have the walls and not the floor. And
okay.
Yeah. So what I learned is to start always with the basics, which then make the other stuff working. Because, for example, without multivitamins or magnesium, which is like, I don't ask me what the number, but I think magnesium is like included in so many reactions in the body that when you then don't take this, but take, for example, whatever, let's choose anything which only works when everything else is fine. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then you waste your money. So
completely.
Yeah, I'm the boring guy who tell you take multivitamin, take vitamin 3, take magnesium, and everything I recommend. I like to go more on the high dose. So I don't want to have like a supplement protocol of 500 supplements, but everything in the smallest dose possible. I want to get a real experience or a real sensation that anything happens. I think when even in a supplement, if it works, you should feel it in a way. I mean, sometimes it's difficult.
Yeah.
But for example, last week you told me you feel like a little bit like sick.
Yeah.
And then you did an IV of glutathione.
Yeah, I put vitamin C in an IV and jet nut.
Okay, and you felt directly better, right?
Directly, yeah.
Yeah, and what did you pay? Like.
Yeah, like 5 can be like 400, something like that.
Yeah. So you got the picture. Like you didn't like buy did not go to Carol and buy a cheap vitamin C.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's actually what I wanted to say. I'm not the supplement expert, but
yeah, but it makes a lot of sense. And that's my fight with Europe, because when I have clients in Europe, I get angry because you have so many regulations. I mean, I don't find a vitamin C that has more than 500 milligrams. I don't find a melatonin that has more than 1 milligram. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
In Europe.
Good question. Next question.
Fly to Dominican.
Ask someone who's living there.
Yeah, it's to Dominican. But yeah, I think they hide those part because it's not actually high dose, but high dose supplements is very good for taking the people out of the pain and of the lethargy quickly.
True.
Yes. So besides supplements and the basics of nutrition, what else do you do?
I hope I did everything I can on this point. And
okay.
So to be honest, let's make a summary.
Yeah.
When I would focus on 3 points of all we put on the table now, and I will ask you this. Let's start with you. Choose 3 things.
Start with you.
Okay, I will start.
Okay.
And we can choose from training and supplements, peptides, whatever.
Okay, cool.
So I will definitely focus on the fucking chest. It's the solution. That is the most important muscle for nearly everything in the upper body. For neck pain, for shoulder pain, for elbow pain, for thoracic outlet, which is a decrease of blood flow to the arms. Everything will be better when you increase the muscle active range of motion of the chest. So that's my number 1.
Okay.
And my number 2 is proximally, to being proximally, so more in the middle, more stable. So I would focus to get the control about my core.
Mm-hmm.
Core, and when I'm talking about core, I'm also talking glutes. My core is a triangle, glutes, rectus abdominis, and T-spine extensors. I mean, that's more than...
Yeah, but I got you.
Yeah, and the third part, I think, would be like everything that regulates the nervous system, and choose something you can do. Don't try to meditate every day 30 minutes. No. You will not do it. Exactly. Take magnesium, high dose. Be nice to your girlfriend.
Those are good ones, like regulate the nervous system. So I will choose, if I had to choose 3, I will get the people to the side and try to be as erect as possible.
Nice, love it.
So I think that's cover everything with training. So it's like structural balance when you can have the leverage perfect in the middle.
Yeah.
So as you do that, like every pain can go away. In the second part, I will say stop eating shit, because inflammation also like improve the pain and improve the injury. So if you remove the foods that doesn't have everything good for you and for your health, you're actually getting better into your injury.
Can I guess the number 3?
Yeah.
I would say it wrong, but is it asparagitis?
Nah, yeah, I mean that could be like the 4th. That could be the 4th. I mean for the 3rd one, I would say like down-regulate your nervous system, as you told to. So that can be meditation, that can be red light therapy, that can be walking a little bit more, journaling, getting out relationships, getting in new relationships. I don't know, but regulate the nervous system actually is gonna help you to waste less magnesium of your body. So maybe you don't need that much, and to recover properly. I think that's the 3rd pillar of pain.
I love it. Leah.
Yes.
Un placer.
Un placer.
It was awesome to have you here. I'm looking forward to the future.
Yes.
Training. By the way, did you train today?
No.
Okay, so tomorrow we train chest, triceps. And then what will be the next episode in 2 weeks?
Something we can ask someone to choose.
Sleep, gut health, or another joint.
Exactly. Let's do it.
Bye.
Pleasure.